2024 shall come to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Motion to approve the agenda, please.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mark, seconded by Dana. Who did second that? Dana Bennett?
Yeah.
We approved the agenda. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Approval of the consent agenda, including the following. 3A, approval of City Council meeting minutes of November 18th, 2024. B, approval of the bills and claims, of which you also have a copy. C, license and permits, liquor license, Class C, liquor license, The Other Place, Class C, liquor license, El Loro, special Class C, liquor license for Christmas by the Lake, Surfside. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dana, seconded by Creighton, that we approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Now is the time and place for anyone in the audience who wishes to address the council on any issue or concern that is not on the agenda. Please approach the podium, state your name first and last, give your address so the clerk can probably enter the minutes. Not a discussion time nor a question and answer time, and you have approximately 3 to 5 minutes. Not appearing, we'll move on to unfinished business, of which we have none. We'll go directly to 6, new business. A, South Shore Estates Residential Subdivision. Mr. Scott Flory, City Administrator. Welcome, Scott.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. Run through the items here in the packet with you tonight. These are on the gold sheets. The first gold sheet is a resolution accepting the public improvements in the South Shore Estates subdivision. The backside of that is the certificate of completion that was filed with the city by the project engineer for the subdivision project, and then we have a 4-year maintenance bond required per our subdivision ordinance. So the last sheets are a copy of the 4-year maintenance bond that's been filed for the project. Just give you a little bit more in terms of some background on this one. Dates back, I know we've covered it many times, but back in November of 2022, the council approved the preliminary plat for this subdivision. At that time, it was known as Lake Time Residential Subdivision, later changed the name to South Shore Estates Subdivision. In October of 23, the council approved the final plat for the subdivision. And of course, as a condition of both preliminary plat and final plat approval, the developer is required to install the various infrastructure improvements, including street, and curb and gutter, water and sewer, and street lighting and those kinds of things, and then dedicate those back to the city upon completion. I did want to note, you're well aware, there is a stormwater detention basin that was constructed out in the subdivision, but that is not being dedicated to the city for maintenance. That would be under the auspices of the homeowners association to maintain that. Again, our subdivision ordinance requires, after the public improvements have been completed, that the subdivider notify the city that they're either ready for acceptance or not. And as I mentioned again, the engineer for the subdivider has done that, and you see a copy of the certificate of completion there in your packet. So we've also had Matt on site extensively out there watching the project and key milestones during construction. He's been present to watch the work out there, in many cases help steer and guide that for a better outcome, I think. So we're now in a position where we can accept the public improvements that I've described here in this document. So the 4-year maintenance bond would begin upon the date of acceptance and passage of this resolution. So just as a reminder, again, back in January of this year, we'd approved the development agreement formally with the subdivider for this project, and we had a $400,000 contribution that we made towards the infrastructure associated with this project. We've paid out to date $300,000 of that, so upon approval and acceptance of these infrastructure items, we'll make the final remaining payment to the subdivider. So I don't have anything further in terms of any background. Unless anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Council, any questions for Scott? Not appearing. Thank you, Scott. We'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2478, a resolution accepting the public improvements in South Shore Estates subdivision in the city of Clear Lake, Iowa. Motion, please.
Second.
Moved by Mark, seconded by Creighton, that we approve Resolution 2478. Is there any discussion?
I should mention, Mayor, just if I could, one more
Sure.
on that. I did recently have a conversation with the developer out there, and he indicated to me, of course, you know, the project is divided. There's about half of it is twin home development, the other half is single-family lots for home construction. Indicated that 3 of the lots have been sold for new single-family homes, and one twin home has been sold and a pending offer on the other, and I think someone was just moving in this past week, so.
Any further discussion? Roll call. Mark?
Yes.
Creighton?
Yes.
Bennett?
Yes.
And Dana?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Resolution 2478 is duly adopted. 6B, Destination Iowa Surf District Project, Lake Access Component. Once again, welcome, Scott.
Yes, thanks you, Mayor and Council. These are the white sheets in your packet, and Matt will go through his letter of recommendation with you. If you recall from our previous council meeting, city engineer had presented to you, we had requested proposals for the dock component of the lake access prong of this project. So if you remember right, we have until the end of this year to make a selection determination on that and be sort of under contract for these improvements for this piece of the project's the very last piece that we have outstanding. We have the streetscape portion of this that we're already under contract through a change order with DSC on, and so the dock was really the only final piece. So at the last meeting, we reviewed 3 proposals that Matt had received in response to his solicitation for proposals, and the council at that meeting then decided we'd have a little more due diligence done on those proposals. Councilmember Eveling and Brandt were part of our local group, along with the representation from the North Iowa Cultural Center and Museum, who's our partner on the project. So we met last week, reviewed those proposals, as well as an alternate proposal for a post and plank dock at that location. There was definitely some interest in that for a variety of reasons. I think not the least of which is kind of the nostalgic look of it, and so I think we gathered here last week and had a real positive, good discussion. And Matt's going to review this with you here momentarily, but the recommendation from the group was to proceed with the post and plank dock. If you recall, the nonprofit recently had received some grant funding for the lake access component of the project, and they've offered to essentially buy this portion of the project for the city with some of those grant funds for this project. So that was very generous on their part. So again, I think it ultimately a very good collaborative process, and I think leading to a better conclusion than maybe where we were at initially. So just real positive about it. And I think it's going to open up an opportunity for us to add a few additional things in terms of maybe public art within that streetscape area. So that's all I've got just on background on that. Matt's going to review kind of the specifications on the post and plank dock and maybe a little more on that. So thanks.
Thanks. Matt Stedding, city engineer, review of dock proposals. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. We'll just go through here real quick. I think everybody can agree that this project really aims to enhance the local infrastructure, stormwater improvements, water quality, stimulates kind of that economical development that we're looking for down in this area, and as well as ensures that the public has great access to the Clear Lake Surf District. We've received some robust support here recently from our stakeholders within the project, local businesses, community organizations, as well as residents. And I think that really just helps to outline the significance that this project has to this overall area that we're looking forward to creating down here. During our prior council meeting on November 18th, as Scott stated, we reviewed 3 custom dock proposals for the Beach Drive Lake Access project. Ultimately, we kind of all decided to take some additional time to evaluate these proposals as well as explore some potential cost-saving design options. This is really where we kind of dove into the post and plank portion of the design alternatives. As part of that review process, we obtained 2 material cost estimates for the post and plank dock. One was from Menards, as well as the other was from our local lumber yard, Woodford Lumber in town here. This post and plank dock, it really stood out, I think, to all of us as well as our partners in the project as being, as Scott stated, kind of adding to that nostalgic ambience of the area down there, as well as its potential for the cost savings compared to the initial 3 custom dock proposals that we got. You know, looking at this overall post and plank dock design, I think that this is going to add some real creative aspects to the area down there. We're going to get some potential nice detail that we can add to this dock, some nautical rope design even potentially to really spruce things up, along with the potential other design alternatives that we have for the area down there. So having went through all this and having sat through several meetings, you know, I'd sit here and ask that the council considers, you know, approving this local cost opinion from our local lumber yard. You know, we've had multiple conversations with our partner in the project, North Iowa Cultural Museum, and they're really on board to move forward and make this part of, bring our local lumber yard in as part of this overall project. And that's what we're kind of looking for and asking tonight of you guys, that you just kind of look and, you know, give your acceptance towards that end goal that we all have here. So I think, you know, if you guys have any questions for me, I'd be more than happy to answer.
This has, I assume we did this a while back, been approved by DNR.
As far as the treated?
The type of dock that we're putting in there.
Oh, yes.
That's
yes,
all.
yes.
That's all been, okay.
Yeah.
I just mentioned also that did have conversation with the state, Iowa Department of Economic Development Authority, and they're okay with us going with the post and plank option. They'll leave that to our discretion if we want to. So we'll be in full compliance with the requirements of our grant application. And again, once this will be approved by the council tonight, then Jacob can file some final remaining paperwork with them, and hopefully we'll start seeing some money come back to us here soon.
Any other comments, questions?
I might just also add, just real quick, unless nobody else has anything, Your Honor, I think the option here that we've worked through here to have, I know Mark tells me don't call it a platform, I don't know what else to call it, but it's this area out, the dock runs out, and then there's kind of this little bit larger area out there, and maybe Dana, you've got something that you can add on this as well, but I really thought that was something really cool, for lack of a better terminology, associated with this dock. And I think it's going to be really a great opportunity to engage the surf district with the lake.